gonna murder this one and murder that one. Talking all that bullshit. I'ma put it to you like this, yo.
This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me. I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. Well, you know, it's me and my only friends, which includes, but is not limited to, my sidekick for the day. What's poppin', Tice?
Wow, got passed to me.
Nice.
It feels like a very special episode where the person that needs to be here the most has vanished.
Yeah, he's gone.
Shit happens.
It's like the Avatar, you know, when the world needed him most against the nations, he vanished. To Montreal, of all places.
Well, you know, they're so nice in Canada.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're so nice here, too, in America.
I mean, the kid's international. He's worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
Hey?
He's basically Pitbull.
Mr. Worldwide. Hey?
He's basically Pitbull. Same haircut.
Yeah, exactly. Get him some glasses, and you won't know if that's Mr. 305.
What's poppin' with you guys today? How we feeling?
Good. We're good, man.
Guapo, what's going
I don't
on
know,
with you?
man. I'm feeling like I might need to leave.
Oh,
I
shit.
mean, lots happening.
I'm actually feeling a little insecure.
What's going on?
Well, Matt Hunt pointed out the fact that I own no clothes and I keep wearing the same shit over and over again. And then as soon as Landon comes in, he's like, "Oh, Matt Hunt's right. You do only wear the same stuff over and over again." So apparently I got to do some shopping, but
It's a nice hoodie,
the
though.
chat won't hold it against me. I love my new Triton gear, so it is what it is.
You need a promo code. Use promo code Guapo for 20% off.
Wow.
Promo code Guapo.
Guapo, you get 10% of that, right?
Yeah,
All right, just making sure.
affiliate fee.
All right, we got some shit going on today. Actually, it's literally shit. There's plenty of just shit getting thrown around. But before we get to all that, Matt Hunt dropped a new course. Let's take a look at it.
This series is going to be a full review of the recent WPT 10K World Championship event that just happened at the Wynn here in Vegas. We're just going to dive right in and start off with six-handed play because a lot of the really interesting hands took place in that portion of the event. And then we're going to have some really fascinating hands in three-handed and heads-up play. So we had 6 elite level players and obviously a really good opportunity to see what these players do in a high pressure, very big money situation.
That is Matt Hunt's new course, breaking down the World Championship over at the WPT. I actually haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to watching it. There was so many interesting hands in there, and it just looks like it was popping. What do you think about it, Landon? You watch it yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but there is definitely a lot of spots from there that like prior to newer tools, you'd be a lot more speculative if the things that they did were correct or not. But now when you have HRC pre-flop, you have the ability to run ICM post-flop using PIO. You can definitely get more of an idea of what the theory looks like. I mean, you can do that, or you can just like ask Daniel what he would do because Daniel knows all the theory and all the spots. So
Be nice.
My God. We were trying to do other things before the spiciness and all the shit flinging, you know?
He said there's a lot
he
of Daniels out
questions
there.
my
I don't know which
loyalties,
Daniel
man.
he's
He
talking
asked
about.
me, he said, where do my loyalties lie? I stayed here.
Right.
10 toes here.
That's right.
Whether I like it or not. You guys got me.
We got some cutting edge stuff in that course, is what you're saying?
Yeah, there's definitely some not newer stuff, but more so things that along the lines of like call it best tournament players in the world, like how they study, how they operate, mostly using HRC pre-flop, getting pre-flop solves, looking at ICM post-flop, and then gaining some ideas. So it's kind of look into what that looks like.
I love it. Make sure to go to softwarewide.io and sign up for the all-in access pass.
Today.
Nothing's better than Lamanna's.
Yeah.
We got to get that on a short. All right, man. I don't even know where to fucking start. There's so much dog shit going on Twitter right now. X, whatever the fuck you guys want to call it.
It's like the Royal Rumble of poker Twitter.
It really is.
I'm so happy I was in the little bubble of the Jewel where like nothing leaves those 4 walls, you know, and it didn't penetrate.
It didn't penetrate the Jewel.
I'm like the audience member here. I'm gonna learn all this stuff for the first time.
Well, so, that makes 4 of us.
So it looks like Daniel put out a tweet yesterday. It was yesterday about what Matt should have done. Are we gonna go through this a little bit?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, I wanted to actually. Sorry. Let's actually start with the Twitter Spaces yesterday.
Right.
So apparently, Garrett and Feldman were in the Spaces yesterday, and we have a little clip just to give you guys a little preview of this.
Elementary strategy to like try to make me look bad on the internet, you know?
Yeah, I'm dumb as rocks, and you're the guy who accidentally banned yourself from playing on shows, and like you're.
Yeah, dude, because you and I couldn't be more the opposite, dude. I don't give a fuck about money.
All right, so
He mad.
yeah, I mean everybody was a little spicy yesterday. A lot of public talking going on.
A lot of F-bombs.
Yeah, I mean I don't even know what to think about it, but to give you guys a little timeline, it all started from a hand that happened at Hustler Casino Live, in which one of the players thought he was cheated in the game, and because his aces got cracked. The player's name was GT, and it was against Luda. Do we have a video of the
Roll the clip.
It's a pretty long one, but
Oh yeah, okay. All right, so yeah, so basically, Alex Dullivan put out a
His name's
tweet.
Alex Duval.
Duval,
So it's
sorry.
Alex Duval in.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Just for the.
Yeah, I was looking at the Twitter name.
I got you, my guy.
Thank you, I appreciate you. So basically, he put out this tweet that says this guy had aces cracked on HCL last night, and so he accused the show and Luda of cheating him. Luda offered to be strip shirts, but sadly was not taken up on the offer. Emergency video coming.
let's see if we can get the cliff notes on this. Give me 1 second. Here we go.
Maybe look, the timing is too uncanny, man. Look, I mean, I add 100, fucking next hand. It's not cut to a guy that just plays every week.
But the adding 100 and next hand doesn't make any sense, right? How would you do it?
The game lasts only another hour. Might as well take advantage right now.
Right, but you chose to add the 100. That deck was already made. You can't get a signal. You can't get a signal that you just had the 100. It's not possible.
As we see, GT ends up accusing Luda.
So yeah, so basically that was literally aftermath of the situation.
So GT added 100K, and then the very next hand he got aces and cracked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got aces against the 8-6 off. Or
I mean, can we just?
It just seems like that just seems like bad timing.
No. I mean, let's just call it what.
8-6 suited.
Let's just call it what it is. I mean, we've all played with a GT before, with somebody just obviously can't take a bad beat. Like you should actually be pretty happy that Luda's willing to put in a third of his stack. When you have aces and kings and you have these good hands, like you shouldn't be crying. You should actually be pretty fucking happy.
I mean, yes, but also to be fair, I'm not gonna scold GT for thinking such things. Like, you know, he did just add on 100. Like this happens I've seen this happen in home games a couple times.
Yeah.
Like shit just happens.
Conrad's been around the block.
You know, it's like shit just happens, and then like the next hand, boom, boom. See you guys later. But yeah, so anyway, Garrett actually responded to that video and said this hand is not suspicious. It has 0 in common with Jack 4, and I am not responsible for the reputation of HCL. They made their own bed. That being said, I specifically chose to avoid playing in games with Luda, despite how poorly he played. Former LATB owners, Live at the Bike owners, and Bicycle Casino executives with first-hand knowledge would be the ones who could shed additional light on the reasons why he was banned from LATB after winning heaps, playing like a maniac on stream in a game that played 20x bigger than the 5-5 game he played otherwise.
Shade.
So Garrett comes out with that, and then all hell just broke loose. Absolute all hell broke loose. I'm not even sure where to go from here. It was just like everybody just started throwing shit. Yeah, I don't even know. So,
was there a response to the tweet, or then it just went straight to the spaces?
Well, then Feldman came out. So then Feldman responded and says, claims he specifically avoided games with him, claims he knows how poorly he played. But here's a text where he claims it was his first time ever watching him play in February 2022 and says he played well. Which is it? So obviously we have this text here where Feldman shared with us their private text messages. Yeah, I mean, shit happens. But yeah, I don't know I don't know this situation. I don't even know like what this is going on. So they went to the spaces. They just ranted for hours, and yeah.
You think I care about money?
You think I care about money? Like, do you think so?
I know you don't care about money.
Pretty sick life. I want that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a huge mess, to be honest with you.
I do kind of believe Garrett when he says that the taking the 135 was more principle than money. I mean, I know it's a lot of money, and I mean, I'm sure that had something to do with it, but like, I get what he's saying, where he's like, this is the only chance I have for justice.
To get the money back.
Yeah, like if I don't take the money now, I'll never get it, and I'll never have justice for
Yeah,
this.
but at what cost?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
I mean,
look,
the
problem is that it's everything.
You're costing yourself a seat at a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
What's the public going to think about you taking 130K off this woman when nothing has been actually proven?
Here comes Guapo.
Look,
hold up the sign, Guapo. Just hold up the sign.
I'm just saying, how much has this actually cost him? Because I'm pretty sure he'd have a lot more than 130 grand if he's still playing.
Right. Well, that's why it's not a money thing. It's
I don't know though, because like if you are operating under the implication that the stream is not on the up and up, he probably wouldn't play anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he would either.
So if he doesn't play anymore and thought he got cheated, why would he not try to take the money back?
Exactly. It's like yeah, 100%. Like I don't think he'd be like, "Oh, I'm just going to continue to play in this game" after he believes he got cheated, right? So he's not playing there anyways.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But now here we are, a few LA Times articles later, a few Twitter spaces later.
So I guess let me ask you guys some questions. Does anybody think this aces hand was a cheated hand?
No.
Absolutely not.
I don't think.
Well, we know Guapo doesn't, so go on. Everybody else say that.
There's never been cheating ever in all of poker.
No, that's horseshit.
Okay, Guapo, what if Robbie played the hand?
I think Postle was definitely guilty.
I know. I'm busting your chops. Yeah, no, I agree with Guapo. I don't think it was cheat. I mean, I didn't dive into it that deeply, but like these things happen.
Lando?
Right?
Yeah, I mean, cheat gate's always going to happen when someone gets stacked. And at the same time, like when it comes to, I don't even know if you want to call it professional where if anybody that's played poker and played it at a high level has saw the Jack 4 hand versus seeing the 6-8 hand.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of a difference there.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
There's a big difference there.
But what I do want to say is Garrett kind of shed some light on something that the public has not spoken about.
Which is?
Luda being banned from Live at the Bike. You know what I mean? Like he said that other people can shed some more light on it, but apparently Luda was banned at Live at the Bike.
So he used to play on Live at the Bike and then got banned?
Yeah, apparently.
For an unknown reason?
Also, him and Feldman were roommates.
Now, is this alleged or were they actually roommates?
Actually roommates. I believe I actually heard Feldman say this, and it was brought up yesterday, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So you guys find this suspicious at all? You see anything here?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of weird, but like reading through the lines, it's saying that Garrett thinks that they were cheating. In a way, like if you're just reading through the lines, Garrett thinks that they were cheating. So
it seems like a little bit of a conflict of interest to have your roommate be playing. Like I don't know how how these things work, but like when you run a show and then you have someone that close to you also playing in the game that you're running,
it's just part of the community, man.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like look at
everyone's so close knit. That's true.
Look at home games. There's fucking 4 people that live in the house. They all play and deal in the game or something along the lines like that. Or like there's a lot of like. It's just part of
maybe you're right.
I don't know too much about this, but I really hope we find out some more because seems interesting.
The issue about trying to find out more is that you're probably going to have to be in a spaces to listen.
Yeah, that's the problem. We don't want to do that anymore.
So Garrett hits him with the, "Oh, hi, Ryan. Appreciate your text that you're rooting for me in my comeback games and regurgitating the same year-old talking points that still nobody cares about in regards to lineups. Also, thanks for also claiming people think I stole Robbie's money after you yourself hilariously claimed that there was a 40% chance he cheated." That's very based.
So he should just give back 60% of the money.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I was wondering when you would stop having guys like Airball do your dirty work and your weak attempts at discrediting me. Fearful your many secrets will get out. You and your echo chamber of HCL family have done all you can to tarnish my reputation to protect your business interests. It's not going to work. The only thing you ultimately accomplished by having Airball spew lies and exaggerations was to toss Berkey a milli at your puppet's expense. Pretty based. I'm happy about that too. By the way, Nick Airball, still waiting for you to follow through in the heads-up match you challenged me to, or did the offer expire as you said? Anyway, where was I? This is a huge message. Anyway, I kind of like reading this, so I can't complain. It's either this or the Vince McMahon texts. Yeah. Anyway, where was I, Ryan?
Stick to this.
There are countless times I confirmed with you directly that Luda would not be playing on HCL before I'd agree to play that day, period. Why? By then, I was extremely concerned that the many things people told me about him were true. While we're at it, want to talk about why you hid from everyone, including your co-owners at Live at the Bike, that Luda was your roommate. Want to talk about why you broke down in tears, pleading on several occasions at the former COO of the bike to remove the ban on Luda. Why was that decision so devastating for you? Want to talk about why the other owners of Live at the Bike and casino management banned Luda in the first place. Want to talk about how the rest of the players in that anti-game felt about him playing after several hands they claimed were suspicious. Want to talk about the wildly different way others told me he played off stream versus on it. We're only scratching the surface here, man. Happy to chat about home games and online app games next if you'd like. Also, cue the echo chambers, all the profits from being on Team Ryan, Nick Vertucci, Hustler, etc. I don't give a shit anymore.
Garrett is not holding back.
It's actually nice to see that he just he said fuck it.
Look, for the longest time, Garrett was like the poster child of like what you want to be as a high stakes player. And now he's like, you know what? Like, I'm human too. I'm over it. I'm ready to see this stuff burn down. Burn this place to the fucking ground,
man. You should have burned this shit down 2.5 years ago, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
I'm here for it, man.
There's so much like that. There's so much written in this text, like this tweet right here, that's just like if you...
Honestly, this tweet does more than the 3-hour spaces probably ever could.
That's right.
Shout out to Lee Jones. He said, I thought it was just aces getting cracked until I learned that Luda is VPIPing 60% and is up 500K in the last 6 months. Ooh. I'm not sure how true that is.
No, I did see that somewhere. That he's playing like a 60% VPIP and he's up $500,000.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's...
No, I'm no expert, but VPIPing 60% and having a win rate like that.
I mean, I will say, he's in LA. He is in LA, guys.
Yeah, depends on the lineup too.
Like shit happens in LA. We all know that.
Well, it's just lineups and variants. Like you can play deck sometimes and just win.
Right.
You
well,
know?
not only that, but like it depends on who you're playing, and if they're VPIPing like 40, 50, 60% as well, then it's all fair. We're talking about post flop now.
Yeah, when you look at the VPIPs and stuff on live stream games, people play a lot of hands, and the way you're going to make money is when you have a really good hand, like, are you going to be able to get paid for it? Or when you have a really good hand, are you going to be able to fold it facing certain aggressive lines?
Just pay.
Look, if I haven't made it obvious, the only way I'm going to be convinced someone is cheating is like, I'll have to see the satellite coming out of their hat. And,
you really would. They would have to literally
it'll have to be another
admit to
Paul
it.
situation.
Yeah, they would have to like go on the stand and be like, I did it.
Like, well, I guess for you, the difference between like call it the Robbie hand and the Apostle hand was just the amount of evidence.
Yeah,
that
because
Mike
it was
had.
just over and over and over. It was just reiterating the fact that he was cheating.
Right. A lot of these cheating scandals instances are one-offs. Right? Like the Robbie hand and this Aces hand. But Apostle, right? You had mountains and mountains of hands and evidence that all these hands were so sus. They're just like, okay, he's obviously cheating. There's no way he couldn't be.
Man, imagine we had spaces during that time.
No, I don't want spaces. No more spaces. I can't take it anymore.
The spaces was just Joey live streaming every hand.
Yeah, right.
That was fine.
Yeah, Joey was the space.
Yeah, the only person that lost in that one was Joey.
He lost his fucking mind for a year and a half.
Yeah. Never recovered.
We needed
Poor
it,
Joey.
We needed it. He sacrificed himself for the good of the community.
Yeah, he got a GPI for it. That's what he got.
Thanks, Joey. Yeah. We appreciate it.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Guess what? More Twitter shit.
We moved on.
We're moving on. I'm over that shit.
Is this just a different beef now?
I don't even want to talk about that shit, honestly. I care less. D-Negs and Berkey.
Yeah. Let's move on to something that's a little closer to home.
I don't want to talk about this shit either. What is this? What is going on in the last fucking 72 hours on Twitter? Is it a full moon?
Everyone needs to take a deep breath.
Everyone does.
Mercury might be in Gatorade again. So, have we gone through the Daniel, like what Berkey should have done tweet?
We haven't.
Okay, we should probably start there and then we can go to the.
All right.
Let's go to the Daniel tweet.
Yeah.
If you can just, you might not have it as an asset.
No, I think I do.
Oh, okay.
One second. Here we go.
Not this one.
Not this one. So
it's still what Berkey
It's the
should have
one that
done.
Berkey,
There it is.
Yeah, what Berkey should have done: treat Jay Little with respect and build a bridge that could help his own business flourish. Since Jonathan is incredibly successful in the space, Jonathan's always been kind and willing to work with everyone and find win-wins. Instead, Berkey's been on a mission to mock and trash Jonathan every chance he gets. Scroll down, please. Every major training site attacks high-stakes pros. Every major training site attracts high-stakes pros to do content for their platform, and there are loads of talented instructors out there that can back what they say with proven results at high stakes. Jonathan's acquired several high-stakes crushers to provide content. Berkey hasn't. Jonathan built a flourishing business from the ground up. Berkey hasn't. The jealousy is understandable. It's probably too late to apologize to Jonathan and learn from him, but he should still do it anyways. The constant mocking is so uncalled for, and he's in no position to be an authority on what is good or bad poker coaching. He does not have the resume.
It's interesting that he's using the words mock and trash. You know, it's not as if Matt put out a billboard at the WSOP talking about, you know, how more rake is higher. He's also not wearing a T-shirt next to him, mocking him and making fun of him. Like, there is a difference here. I don't understand why it's coming down to that it's a personal attack. If you actually look at his tweets, it's never been a personal attack on Jonathan Little. It's been, I guess if you want to say, a personal attack on his, I don't want to call him tactics because that has a negative connotation.
No,
but
I don't think it does. Coaching tactics, kind of.
Well, it's just
marketing.
Approach.
It's the way that he's talking to his audience,
Yeah, it's
right?
more marketing than tactics, right?
And sometimes the truth hurts. And when, you know, if I'm a professional football player and I say, hey, listen, you guys can do it too. You just have to go out there and work really hard. Like, no, like, you actually have to have the genetics. You have to have the athleticism. The same thing goes with poker. Not everyone is cut out for poker, and to insinuate that it's just not truthful.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, if someone takes a stance or someone, you know, has an opinion and then Berkey goes against it, like all of a sudden it's like Berkey's bashing him. It's just happened to be, you know, a handful of bad takes, which Berkey thought were bad takes on Jonathan's part,
and their opinions.
You know what else irks me is like Negreanu saying that like Berkey doesn't have a flourishing bit. Does he have access to our financials? As I don't think he does. What is he talking about? Like Berkey has this business, run this business for how many years now, right? He employs a handful of people, myself included, and it's just like, you know, we have. Like, okay, yeah, well, we don't have, you know, Jason Kuhn as a content creator, but we have great people. We have Hunt, we have Brokus. These people put out like amazing content. You can go to softwarey.io and check it out. And it's just like, you know, like, where does he get off saying that? Like
I think
Berkey hasn't run a great business. Every cent that Berkey's made in this business, he didn't take anything for himself. He put it right back into the business to make the business better and to grow it and to provide something great for the community. So the fact that he says he doesn't have a flourishing business is complete bullshit.
I think specifically the fact that he's using words like jealousy and that they're personal attacks.
Yeah, like Berkey's so jealous. Berkey could have done so many other different things to line his pockets.
Yeah.
With this business that he did not do.
This is kind of where I want to jump in and say that when it comes to the coaching platform, it's better for coaches to feed off of optimism versus reality. Where an optimistic take would say, oh yeah, anybody can win at poker. All you have to do is work really hard. Anybody can make six figures after X amount of time. Where Matt and I are both under the same standpoint of, no, like not everybody can win at poker. It's a hard game. And saying that you can win is a bit just disingenuous.
It's disingenuous, yeah.
So
and
taking
it's
that stance is worse for a coaching site than it is to say, oh yeah, if you do this, you're going to be able to win six figures
right.
too.
100%.
You know what? Like all that tweet should have said was, if you work really, really hard, you'll get better at the game. You'll be better than you were if you don't work hard. Because that's true, right? But to say that, oh, all you have to do is work really hard and you'll just win endless amounts of money, that's false, right? So if you just flipped it to say, hey, you will get better. Your win rate will go up, right? If you work hard.
Yeah, there's ways to improve in poker, but just because you improve doesn't mean you're going to start winning six figures.
Right, yeah. But
you might win six figures in poker.
Right, but you might go from losing six figures to break even, or losing six figures to winning, or losing five figures, right? So like you can improve, but not everybody can just crush the game, or the game
not
wouldn't
everyone
exist.
is cut out to just be a professional gambler. I mean, it just is what it is, and the truth hurts.
For sure.
Well, that's the way that the gambling works, right? It's the way the ecosystem flourishes. There's very few people that win. There's people that beat the people that are losing on purpose, and then there's some people that lose on purpose.
Yeah.
And then when the people that lose on purpose are gone, the people that beat them now become the people that lose on purpose. It's just the hierarchy system.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Berkey talks his shit.
Oh,
you know,
right.
like, don't get me wrong, Berkey talks his shit.
He's very outspoken,
and he comes from a very authority figure type of speaking.
Yes, I've known Berkey all my life, and he's always been like this. If he has a stance, he'll argue it to the death.
Yes, he's confident in his stance.
Right, exactly. So it's just like that's just who he is.
Man, there's confidence to a fault, but at the same time, I feel like there have been times where, not that he's walked back anything publicly, but like through conversations in the house, whatever, like he and I have back and forth, you know, like sometimes he's wrong, sometimes I'm wrong. Like I've seen the guy be wrong,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
And when it comes to some of these public stances, some of his takes are still partly what I believe to be true. Like call it the Daniel Nines fold. Like I just think that's a complete mistake.
Right.
And I'm standing on business on that one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, Daniel says, so I saw the clip of the nines hand, and since you don't have access to any high-stakes tourney pros, I figured I would take the time to teach you something about tournament poker since you don't play them. This kind of sounds like some mockery here, but let's keep going. ICM. Dude, I'm going to get so heated.
Easy.
No.
Talk your shit, Landy.
But this is why I get like personally sort of annoyed, because he talks as if he's ran a solve himself. He talks as if he does his own work. People do it for you, which is fine, but then you try to extrapolate things that just simply aren't true. Seen over and over again by other footage. So back to the tweet, please. 7-handed, the chip leader opening under the gun with lots of shovable short stacks behind is going to have an ace-heavy range. This is correct. Blocking shoving hands. This is 100% correct. The solve will agree. Jesse will probably open ace-3 off plus, maybe even ace-deuce because of the short stacks and ICM pressure. So you're more concerned about having hands that block shoves and less concerned about playability.
Makes sense.
Hands like 6-7 suited, hands like queen-8 suited aren't as good because the ace block is much better.
Landon, your shot looks really good today. That's all I
Thank you.
No problem, bud.
My position was 3rd of 7 with 2 very short stacks and in the big blind. Defend 9-9 standard. Ace-deuce 5 rainbow. He bets min. This is a perfect illustration of the point you don't seem to want to understand. Jesse isn't betting min on flop and checking turn. I'm going to say cap. He's always barreling turn with an ace.
For the older folks, cap means bullshit.
He's always barreling turn with an ace or without, so you're essentially calling to spike one of 2 outs, not getting the right price. The under the gun range has all the leverage and can comfortably pressure a middle stack and will actually have an ace a high percentage of the time, and even when he doesn't, can pair 2 overs on turn or river. So you are fading the double barrel, and in the off chance he doesn't bet turn, an additional 14% when he has 2 overcards that hit. If he checks turn, he won't have worse hands than nines. Kings may check, but nines don't beat kings. You're welcome. I know you are an attorney guy, but we'd love to have you come join us at the studio. Free food and drinks in a comfortable atmosphere with the fun crew of regs and recs. Well, if this is how the regs are talking, it doesn't sound very fun. So let's start there.
Based.
That is funny.
But like the difference between Jesse had 7-8 suited.
Yeah.
This hand is a pure fold in an ICM situation because of the short stacks that can't have ace blocks.
I mean, for shits and giggles, didn't you go find another hand at the NAPT?
I looked at the NAPT 5K where Jesse was trip leader. In the first hand he played, he opened the hijack with 7-3 off, which is fucking sick. You know, like do whatever you want.
Sure.
Big blind calls, flop goes check, c-bet call, turn, check, river king, good for the ICM range because he's never king, check, and Shannon wins with king 4-2 pair.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of different spots where even when you're chip leader, you're not supposed to just barrel the turn every time because of quote unquote ICM. Like it's just a poor understanding of how the model works.
Sounds like Danny.
Yeah, my boy Cowboy Dan says, I think this is bad analysis. He's not betting the turn every time. Sometimes you show down a winner. If he has 8s or king 5 or king queen, he may check down. Maybe he doesn't bluff, and you're getting a good price, and maybe you hit a 9 on the turn with the congratulations.
Yeah, but Dan Smith doesn't have access to high stakes. Oh wait, he is a high stakes.
The next
but if you're really itching for a crossbook, I'll give you some action tomorrow on Friday. Daniel declined the crossbook. Pretty sharp. Dan's a smart guy.
Why would he ever decline a crossbook against Pickleball Dan?
Yeah.
This is Pickleball Dan. Actually, you know
what?
what?
No, he won a Triton tournament. He's Pickleball MTT Dan.
That's right.
Oh, okay. But I thought he's like Snowboard Dan now.
He's Snowboard Dan. He's Pickleball Dan. Anyways, Daniel makes that tweet. Matt responds with, what began as a needle over advising flop folds with hands winning half a big blind has turned into Daniel painting me as some devil-faced bully. I'm never one to bite my tongue, but I'm also not one to attack someone's character undeservingly. I'm not once attacked Jonathan Little's character, nor painted him as a bad guy. I simply disagree with his messaging at times. If that somehow came off as personal, then I'll happily apologize. My instincts tell me, however, that this is just Daniel's bruised ego lashing out.
I mean, Berkey's on multiple occasions has said, I got nothing against Jonathan, right? I got nothing against him. I think he's a fine guy. I just don't like the way he goes about delivering his message.
Yeah,
and
but nobody wants to remember that. It's
of course not. Nobody wants to remember that. But like he said it multiple times. You can go back in the footage and look.
I mean, honestly, how could you ever have a problem with Jonathan Little?
He
seems like he just minds his own business.
I've talked to him at the studio multiple times. Just a kind guy, cool guy.
Seems like he just minds his own business.
It's like at the same time, if someone tells me, hey, like you can win 6 figures playing poker just by working hard, I'd be like, I don't think so. It's that simple, right? Like Twitter takes things so out of perspective where you just have a very quick back and forth. It's like, I don't think that's true. And they're like,
this is why this like the social media and all that stuff is so toxic, right? It's because like if like Negreanu came in and Berkey and him were having a conversation like face to face.
Maybe we need this.
It would be, maybe we do, but it would be, this whole thing would have been completely different. I 100% know that, right? Like, I'm very, very confident that if they sat down face to face and were talking, but like, somebody says this on Twitter and then they say this and they don't know the context, they don't know the tone, and then all of a sudden it just blows up into this giant war, which is frankly unnecessary.
I loved seeing Pads coming in off the top ropes. With,
Pads hit him with it this morning.
Pads hit him with the finding the hate on Berkey so bizarre. Runs the best poker podcast, bringing up issues in the community and make sure that they get the right amount of coverage they deserve. We do pretty well.
Yeah.
Gets called out at super high stakes heads up challenge, accepts it, studies and crushes. This is true. Endured borderline bullying on videos that have received 1 million+ views. Still shows up high stakes poker sandwiched in between Nick and Doug with his own money and does well. Plays daily higher stakes than 99.9% of people who criticize him. Growing up every day, everybody wanted to play in Vobbies. He's in there every day. He's been playing poker for 20+ years and has played every single stake. Very relatable journey for many. Has helped younger people in the game like Melissa, Landon, etc. have a platform and obviously helps all around him. Maybe you could have done a little bit better there. Maybe I should be gone. Posts daily health and fitness stuff and puts himself out there. Doesn't stay silent for money. Supports professionals and amateur best interest. Gives us somewhere to listen to most important topics in poker. Maybe he speaks with authority on topics that he isn't an expert in. But isn't that what we all do every day? That makes him more relatable. You don't have to agree with every word he says, but he's a good guy, relatable, helps those around him, plays loose, splashy, fun to watch, and brings up issues in poker to make it a more safe space for us all.
That was very well written.
Mm-hmm.
Very well written. Because like there's been a lot of I didn't honestly look through everything, but I quickly scrolled through some comments, and I was like, damn, there's a lot of Berkey hate in here. Mm-hmm. Half of me is like, I just want to go type, you cunt. But the other half of me is like, all right, whatever.
But I mean, a lot of the authority figures in the community have come out for Berkey. Sean Deeb kind of echoed the same thing. And
Polk had a good tweet.
Oh, yeah. Well, Polk is just, he's sad he's not in the middle of this. I'm sure he'll work his way in somehow.
Yeah. But the other one was better.
No, but the best part about this, honestly, is that Doug and Matt both agree that 9's fold is ridiculous.
Yeah, of course.
The enemy of your enemy is your friend sometimes.
Yeah.
He had put out a tweet basically say, I forgot, it was after one of D-Night's tweets, and he's like, oh, we're talking about Berk here?
Yeah.
And then it's like, what's up, my friends? Yeah. That shit had me dying.
Yeah, my people.
He's like, he's ready to get in the mix. It's like, oh, all right.
Well, yeah. I mean, how could he miss out on such a beautiful opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't blame him.
So, yeah. I mean, Pads wrote a really good tweet there, just kind of breaking down why he thinks this shit is crazy.
Right.
And now we're going to break down a hand
that is crazy.
Mm-hmm. That is crazy.
Well, Berkey has misplayed 9s himself.
Everybody misplays 9s. And
9s are tough. 9s are the new jacks.
You know what happens when you misplay 9s? You're in the fucking muck.
You are in the muck.
You are in the muck. Guapo, roll the graphic.
Hold on
you're
a
in
second.
the muck. I said
I gotta show Matt being criticized here for the way he plays 9s.
Well, no, we're gonna talk about that.
Right, that's the muck.
You gotta throw the graphic up.
Just imagine a graphic.
All right, hold on. Here it comes.
It's coming.
All right, and now we are. No.
Don't fold nines here.
The moral of the story.
Yeah, so this was a hand in the PCA.
I want to say it was PCA, and I think it was my second year here, so 4 years ago, so 2019, 2020 it was.
Okay. Yeah, I think 19.
So this is the spot where we can pause it for a second. We're on the turn already, but that's fine. I'll get to it. Under the gun 1 opens. Matt defends with pocket nines off of roughly 55 big blinds.
Yeah.
Flop comes ace, ace, 9 with a flush draw. Matt has pocket nines as seen. It goes check. He goes about quarter pot, a little bit more, like 28%. And then Matt goes with the 4x check raise. And with queen 10 of spades, you have a call. Turn is the king of hearts, and Matt goes for the check.
Right, boys.
You're good.
Have also a flush draw.
Dude goes for the check. Now in position bets half pot with a combo draw and also having some fold equity as well. Maybe Matt has a hand like a flush draw that doesn't really want to bet anymore because ace king is so prevalent for under the gun. And Matt calls with a full house. Mind you, this is 42 left out of 865, so there's some ICM pressure, but you're still so far away from actual pay jumps.
This
that
is a
it's not that
25.
important.
This is a 25K, right? I'm pretty sure it's 25K.
It was the main event.
Yeah, so it's 25K.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now in the river, Matt checks, and then Tommy Wynn bets 170, but roughly half pot. Matt's got 381K, and he does something that is a crime. This is a crime against.
I remember watching this hand in real time.
You can't win 6 figures in poker if you make a fold like this.
I was yelling at the screen so hard.
I was so happy. I was like, oh no, he's gonna get paid, and then
I was like, what's taking so long?
He's
What
doing
is
some
going
time
on?
banks.
Don't do it.
He opened,
my
folded. He
God.
just couldn't take it. This is
Oh my God.
He's just like he can't take it.
Tommy's face, he couldn't believe it.
He's like, fuck, I guess I was bluffing, man. Damn.
He's like, I didn't know you had that in you, honestly.
Yeah.
it's funny because like at the time, like whatever that was 5 years ago, Berkey was like known as the guy
That's
It
not
just
full.
pays
just
off.
does not fold rivers.
Yeah.
And now he's at the top, and he just.
Tommy was trying to get paid by ace 5, man.
And that's
Right.
why he's fucking out here
But
preaching.
Berkey probably leveled himself into thinking like, okay, well I'm the guy who never folds, and now he's like piling on me. So like,
I think what just
obviously he
happened was
has
Matt
aces
had a
full.
misevaluation of what the value range on the river for him
Right.
would be as the in-position player. And honestly, the half pot size versus just jamming is rather ridiculous with pot SPR.
All right, let's break it down. Let's see what the Wiz says about this. How
Yeah.
should we have played the nines?
Let's see what the wizard has to say.
Yeah, we need to learn how to play nines around here. It seems like everybody in the community needs to gather around and just learn how to play nines.
Pretty
here.
sure the computer started smoking on the river.
Yeah, everybody. So Matt has a range check. Let's not lead nines here. Let's not lead your full houses. Good start. So Under the Gun has a range bet. In the original solve, it was like a 40% pot range bet. In this spot, I just gave the custom size that Tommy Wynn uses. It's not going to lose any EV really.
Right.
So-
he went 28 and it says go 40. So
Correct.
Not much of a. too
Yeah,
much of a
and it's
difference.
just like I would just go quarter here, putting in chips at any point with entire range is going to be the play.
Okay.
You just have so much ace X as seen, some of the offsuit ace X's as well, and then you don't really care very much when you have like these small pairs. You're gonna potentially use them to bluff later, depending on the runouts and depending on the action. It's just such a good board for you that you just want to put in a chip and see what happens. So Matt now with nines for his raise size actually does do very well here. It looks like the value range for the out of position player for the polar reopen, as we're kind of wrecked in the ace X department where we have some of these weaker ones that defend big blind, like ace 3 and ace deuce are going to mix a 3-bet.
We never had big aces because we just 3-bet those.
Correct. So I kind of gave like a makeshift-ish Matt range where like 50% tens 3-bet and like jacks plus and then like ace jack, ace queen. Who really knows? I do kind of. So
nines is like almost like a pure raise.
Nines is basically a pure raise. Is it's not the top of your value, as we still have ace 9 suited, of course, but ace 9 blocks so much stuff that you'd rather use nines unblocking the ace.
Unblocking the ace. It makes so much sense, right?
For the opener.
Yeah, once you have ace 9, you just have it locked down.
So now, as the undergun player, when you have queen 10 of spades, you can't fold a flush draw here, even if you think they might have a full house. You just have too much equity. You can still bluff later if they check, because if you look at Matt's bluffing range, he's going to have hands like high-low flush draws, being like Jack 5 suited, Jack 6, Queen 4, King Deuce. We have some of these hands, and then like obviously this will probably never happen in real life, like having 4s. But okay, you're mostly going to want to have flush draws.
I was going to say, if Landon had 4s, this is a check raise triple off.
It's a lot for me. I would be more heavy with the flush draws, as like we have equity, we have blockers to the best aces, and then we can put in position in a tough spot depending on runouts.
Okay.
So under the gun calls, turn is a king of hearts, and then Matt ends up going for the check, and we can see that that's actually relatively allowed, pretty decent. You're mostly going to want to check the ace 9 when you check raise, as you're doing it so low frequency. 9s are still kind of the bulk of your value range when we do decide to check raise the flop in the first place. But the king is really bad for our range, as we never have ace king full houses, and we're capped now at ace 9 being our best hand. Some of the times, as we mostly flat with it. And then in position has ace king always. And we're going to have some ace X's that we check raise flop with that now need to protect that range with a check. So our betting volume on this turn is going to be very low. We're going to bluff with near 9 deuce for the 9's full house block and the deuce unblocker, where it's more likely that your opponent has ace X offsuit that's not a king. More likely they can have like ace 4 suited, ace 3 suited, ace 8 offsuit when you have the deuce in your hand. And more likely they have a hand that's potentially like pocket 10s with a spade that c-bets and then calls the raise.
Why is it only 9 deuce suited that check raises flop?
It's just a solver nonsense, as our check raise on the flop is so rare to begin with. You have to be very selective with what you're bluffing with as well.
So they just use the one with the deuce.
And the deuce unblock is better than a 3 or a 4 because 9 deuce unblocks ace 3.
And 9s blocks 9's full.
And 9s blocks 9's full.
Whereas ace deuce is less likely to be seen.
And ace deuce is just the value hand.
Yeah,
and then ace 3 is going to be more likely ace 4. But if we start using 9 deuce, 9 3, 9 4, 9 5, 9 6, we have too many hands that we're bluffing, because the only value hand we actually have here is pocket 9s and then ace 9 suited that we decided to mix a raise with. But it's mostly going to trap in practice as well, because you have the entire board locked down. You're hoping that your opponent's just going to rifle it off with a hand like king 10 or things along those lines.
Makes a lot of sense.
So Matt checks the turn, makes a lot of sense. So the size that we do use if we want to bet is pot, because we're repping 9s.
Okay.
We need max fold equity. I'm sure if we bet pot here, ace X offsuit for in position is going to start folding, because it's very, very scary, right? We see ace 8 here, ace 3, all of these hands very not happy, very, very mad.
They do a lot of folding.
Very mad. Right.
A lot of folding here.
Because we're not supposed to bet.
Yeah.
Like if we look at our range is on turn king. Our range, literally,
a lot of checking.
We don't have that many bets.
We have full house, we have lie, and then we have like sometimes like 8-3 of spades lie, and then we have like check protects like king X that we were bluffing on the flop with.
Yeah.
But now we turned a pair, so now we don't have to bluff because we beat 10s, jacks, and
now
kings.
we just check call, check call.
Right, you can check the side.
Check the side, yeah.
So now Matt goes for check. We see here that the in position player was actually supposed to use a smaller size, because once we check raise check, our range is really good, like ace 9 and 9s.
We only have good hands.
Or we have nothing.
Nothing, just,
Nothing / king X.
Yep.
So we kind of want to make those continue on the turn or feel relatively indifferent, and then have a tough decision on the river. Tommy goes for half pot, so I kind of node lock like a spicy half pot range, where sometimes he's going to bet ace king because he has it. Sometimes he's going to check because you want to be a little bit sneaky. So aces sometimes mixing. You have all the cards, and you still get value from 9s anyways on the end, so you don't have to bet it yourself. And then sometimes he's going to bet some ace X suited, sometimes he's going to bet some ace X offsuits, and then he's going to bet 9s full because it unblocks the ace. And then he's going to be checking a lot of his showdown value hands like king X, and sometimes maybe he'll bet with king X with a flush draw. Maybe he'll bet with queen 10, queen jack with a flush draw, as we saw. Because in the solver, queen 10, queen jack suited kind of want to play a pure check. Reason being, they kind of have nothing. If you put in money, you're going to get called by a better hand.
You're just almost dead unless we get there.
Right, you're dead unless you get there.
And we might still be dead.
And you might still be dead when you do get there. Unless they can find a fold. Unless they find a fold with top. That is very possible. So under the gun one goes for the B50. Matt now can play like a sneak double check raise if he really wanted to. Kind of built around the 9s that we did decide to check.
Is there any other better feeling in poker than getting a double check raise?
No, and the solve probably knows that, so that's probably why it's going for it.
It's literally the best feeling in poker.
Pretty sick, huh? King deuce of spades going for the Mega Master. gets called by flush draws, gets probably like some ace X to be indifferent.
Okay.
But that's not something to be tried at home. We're even turning in some ace X's not into bluffs really, but you're mostly defending your range. Like you're just check calling, check praying on the end. Ace Jack's like kind of it's not really it's sort of value, but it's very scary at the same time.
They're just kind of like just pay hands.
Yeah, and you're kind of putting in the money yourself if they have draws, so you're kind of getting some money and good if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Because like they're betting queen 10 of spades, you raise ace jack, but who really knows? So Matt goes for the call, which is going to be completely fine. You're going to call more with the 9 of hearts just because you block some of the flush draws with the heart.
Makes sense.
And then, you with the heart you trap a little bit more. And then Matt goes for the call, and then the river was the jack of spades. So interesting one, because when we check call, like when we check raise, check call, we have a lot of these pair plus spades. So we can actually lead the river a little bit of the time. Like king deuce of spades getting in there, king 4 of spades. You lead pocket 9s because they're going to put in all their full houses and flushes in for you anyways, potentially.
Yeah.
This is probably something that we would not have seen in practice, and I don't think many people would have found. Like I definitely wouldn't have found the lead here, assuming that we're now very capped.
With the 9s, you would have found a lead?
I wouldn't find a lead with range. It does make sense when you think about the hands that we check raise, check call.
Yeah.
It's pair plus and then potential full houses.
We only have good hands outside of king X.
Yeah. Well, we have king X and then we have like ace 9, some ace X trips that we want to protect. Like we're bluff catching with the ace X offsuit portion, and then we're going to use 9s to lead as he's going to jam the ace X for us when we do go for the lead.
Yeah.
And also he's going to check back a ton as we have improved a lot on this river after the check raise, check call, check line. So I guess we have to go into the node lock function and give for frequency a range check. I assume that Matt's not going to be betting here. Lock all and continue.
You're just locking a check?
Yeah, just pure checking now for out of position.
Okay.
Now we look at under the guns range. We'll see that the only size here is going to be all in, which makes a ton of sense.
Right.
They're extremely polar.
In play, he went half pot, correct?
He went a little bit under half. He went like B50.
Okay.
So what I'm going to have to do is, I don't want to remove the all in because if he has ace king, he's probably going to jam.
Right.
So
So
this hand kind of feels like a custom B50 size, or like maybe quads is for him is going to go B50. Flushes are going to go B50. And then some ace X, like ace queen with a spade, might want to go B50.
Okay.
Where in the solve, it's going to go all in. So like, I'm going to go to this little pen button. I'm just going to go like this, that, 50, firm. And then I'm going to try to make some custom range.
Nope.
Like it's not going to work. So I'm just going to have to go to the node lock and be like, well, let's go to set strategy and let's go to 50 and let's go 50%.
You have to take the all in out, right? Yeah.
I don't know if you have to take the all in out, but let's just make it like some pure hands potentially, or like 75%.
Okay.
So then all in will be 25%. Yeah. So like aces, maybe B50, maybe all in. Ace king, maybe B50, maybe all in. Maybe kings. You can just kind of touch it, I suppose. Like queen 10 suited.
Queen 10 takes the 50 route.
Yeah, we can just go like 100% for 50. Then like what's going to end up happening here is it's not like you're going to fold, but I'm curious on if you can jam yourself. And the answer might be like, no.
Probably not.
Like ace queen B50, ace jack, we can just go B50. Or sorry, that's a full house, so we can just leave it.
Yeah.
Ace 9, we can probably do some B50. Some B50, some all in. Ace 9 full house. Maybe he goes for the trap, like the sneak. And then his bluffs, I guess we're going to put bluffs in the B50.
I mean, hands like ace 9, doesn't it feel like you just want to be all in though? Like you don't even want a custom size here?
You don't, but he might, right? Because the entire sim is broken-ish, where this half pot size doesn't exist, so I have to try to figure out what could potentially exist.
Oh yeah, of course.
So like, okay, like let's say some of the times he goes half pot, some of the times he goes all in. I'm just kind of curious as to like, like not obviously that 9s isn't gonna fold, but it's can 9s still go for a value jam on the end? Because it might be too thin, but you kind of have to just call. So now, yeah, as we see here, we just have a pure call. You have a pure call. Can't fold. Let's go to let's just really dig in here and go to the strategy plus EV of this one. Just 12 big blinds, you know? Like, we don't advocate for folding 12 big blinds here.
So what does the wizard say?
What does the wizard say?
Reject me so hard, Daddy.
Yeah, like, so when it comes like nines, Matt's right that nines is a bluff catcher, but he did not follow his advice of just pay.
Yeah,
right.
It's true. Well, I think, just pay has been brought to us after that. Ever since this moment, he hasn't folded.
He's learned the errors of his way.
The man hasn't folded a hand ever since this fucking hand.
2024 Berkey would not be folding nines there.
He folded. I remember he played a hand in Bobby's where he had he rivered an ace and thought the guy didn't have deuce 7 and then folded to 25% pot on the end. And then it's like,
that was just a brain blunder.
That was the just pay spot.
That was a brain blunder.
When you're getting 25% pot on the end and you have top pair and a deuce to 7 game.
What's that, 5 to 1?
It's a lot to 1. It's enough to 1.
It is
When you river top
Yeah.
pair, you should probably just put the money in. Maybe you lose probably, but the point is, it's imagine betting on a sport, like sports betting, and getting 5 to 1 on something where in reality your hand might be worth 2 to 1.
Right. You have to be winning 15% of the time.
Wapo's pretty good at MMA bets. He knows. He sees lines.
Right.
I do.
But in poker, for some reason, there's more of this attachment of, I don't win in this spot. Or I have king 8 on king 8 deuce, and he bet 1 big blind, and I check call. And then he bet 2 big blinds, and I check call. Then I check fold, and he had deuces. It's that's okay. You're allowed to get stacked in poker. Part of the way that you make more money is if you do end up getting stacked.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're never willing to put the chip stack in, you're never going to get paid when you have it all.
Right.
Yep.
So,
That's true.
anyways, Matt's in the muck. I'm in the muck from 5 years ago watching this hand. I'm glad I didn't have a piece. I would have been very upset.
I was sick as fuck.
Conrad wants to end it all.
I want to end it all.
This could have been your chance to get rich, dude.
Oh, my God.
Big thanks to GTO Wizard for sponsoring
sure.
In the Muck segment. Make sure to hit #Wizard in the chat, and you'll get some more information and how to sign up.
If you want to add a In the Muck segment, go on over to our Discord. Add us on Twitter. Let us know what you got. You got a hand for us? You want to talk about a situation? Hit us up. Let us know.
Yep.
All right.
That's how you do it.
All right. 12 big blinds in one hand.
Oh, my God. He's stimming.
12 big blinds. But I will give credit to Matt in the sense of knowing that his hand is a bluff catcher, depending on how the line works.
Yeah.
The point is, it's a bluff catcher that wins a lot, and you can't jam, and it's not because your hand's not worth enough.
Sometimes they value,
It's because you can't get called by worse when you jam.
Right.
Everybody, do not forget, we have another academy. We have 3 academies coming up. Brian, run it for me.
That's right. We got the Cash Academy. The most recent one is going to be March 18th to the 20th. Go to academy.solvefory.io to get more information and to sign up. Seats are limited.
All right, guys, we are out of here. Berkey will not be with us again tomorrow. I think he comes back on Monday. So it's just going to be us, the squad in the building.
We're here.
But we will be here at noon getting it popping. You guys already know. Have a great day, guys.
Peace.
Later.
Peace.